Hi there, my name's Jim Lister and welcome to my presentation for Assignment 2, Part A for Term 3, the Full Stack app. The project will be an e-commerce platform to sell wallpapers and wide format graphics targeted at gamers and streamers, as opposed to your standard baby nurseries and interior decor demographic. And the project duration will be 3 weeks, essentially starting the bulk of Part B July 16th through to August 6th. The purpose is to offer wide format printing services to a more specific target demographic, and in doing so scaling back my business to a point where I can ship graphics instead of having to perform site measures and installs. The quoting calculator will allow customers to perform their own measurements, and the fact that I'll be shipping only means that the graphics will be rolled up for customers to DIY or subcontract an external installer. The main goal is to create and deploy a full stack application e-commerce website using the MERN stack, fully functioning backend API that will allow customers to register as users, browse, rate, and favorite wallpaper designs, ultimately affording them the opportunity to order, pay for, and have shipped wide format graphics and wallpapers. Quoting calculator is desirable, as well as an AI image generation would be nice to have. My role will be as the front-end developer and the back-end developer, with responsibilities that will include delivering the documentation, including flow diagrams and UX components, user stories and wireframes, project management, designing the UI, developing the back-end, and developing the front-end. The overall function of the website is to operate as an e-commerce platform and gallery for specialized themed wallpaper graphics. Features should include user auth register and login, site navigation, gallery, quoting calculator, contact and email form, and nice-to-haves, shopping cart checkout and billing services, image carousel on the homepage, and perhaps an AI image generation tool through Midjourney or similar. My desired target demographic will be streamers and gamers, as opposed to your standard baby nursery interior decor demographic. My target demographic will also include men who want to create a personal space or a man cave, families with young kids who want more customized bedroom wall graphics, and we'll get more into that when we go through my user stories. Obviously, as far as the tech stack goes, I'll be utilizing the MERN stack, so Mongo, Express, React, and Node. But to go into some more info about the deployment, I'll be hosting my database with Mongo Atlas and deploying the site on Heroku. I'm pretty familiar with Insomnia for my choice of client application, with Visual Studio Code for my development IDE. And just to note, JavaScript programming language alongside CSS, Sass, and Bootstrap for styling. Here is the data flow diagram, which accurately represents the main functionality of my site. Just to note that once the user registers, their authentication information is stored in the user collection of the database. Once they're logged in, they can add items to the cart and check out through a third-party application such as PayPal in conjunction with the bank. The customer can add an item to the cart, however, they will always be directed through the quote calculator in order to obtain the price first. Here is the simplified version of my architecture diagram. It really just surmises the development structure of the app. And here is a more detailed version which depicts the high-level architecture of the app, through client-server to hosting and website controls to various API endpoints through to payment and third-party applications. So on to my user stories. I've created some user persona cards which include a user story, user information, along with some user problems. I'll just read the user story parts, but we've got John Dory. As a young busy professional guy with a family who doesn't get a lot of time to myself, I want to build my own man cave and style it with my own personal flair so that I can have a space to call my own. Dakota Kofax. As an aspiring streamer, my followers get an intimate portal into my life, and I'd like the backdrop to be more interesting and appealing so that I can attract even more followers. Seth Cohen. As a collector, lover of pop culture and avid gamer, I'm looking to zhuzh up the area where I display all my collectibles so that I can stand out from other collectors as someone who's truly passionate. Billy Bartholomew. As a kid, I'm super proud of my bedroom and I want a way to browse unique custom wall graphics online and save the ones I'd like so that I can get my parents to buy them for me. I've created some high fidelity wireframes in Figma which display not only what I want the site to contain and how my navigation will operate, but also the overall look and feel of my site. As you can probably tell, I'm big on iconography and clean and simple layouts. I've created wireframes for mobile first development, as well as for tablet display and for desktop view. And hopefully everything in between, as I'm planning to make the site as responsive as possible. As for project management, I have set up my Kanban Trello board and will be adopting an agile development methodology. I have this part of the project set up as a design UX UI stage, and the development task will commence once everything in the design stage is squared away. Next steps will be to 1. Build the bare bones structure of the front and back ends and set up configuration ready to deploy on Heroku and Mongo Atlas. Deployment first and continuous deployment during development to adhere to agile methodology. 2. Design tests in regards to development and begin to develop backend APIs defining object models, schemas, and routes for CRUD operations. Once I have a few templates developed for the product model, user model, and order model, build into front end and duplicate as needed. And 3. Apply styling in Bootstrap and Sass for good user experience, tailoring features and components to cater for demographic and solve user problems developed throughout the user stories. All going well, include some of the nice to have elements which aren't integral to the project. And thanks so much for listening, and that's all.